5 years ago, I was a different person. 5 years ago was Thursday, the 30th of July, 2020. When I think about the year 2020, of course, when COVID came around, it was a rough time. But for me, it was a year after graduating from high school, now in university. And my way of thinking, I really didn't think at all, to be honest. As I sit here now, I hardly can remember what or who I was at that point. I would have to see pictures of myself to really remember what I looked like and try to make what I thought at that time. But whenever I do think back on that time, I'm reminded of how shallow my thoughts were, how free flowing my mind was, how things were completely different. The people that I had around me, the things that I was doing, the opportunities I was open to, or the opportunities I didn't have. It was a completely different time. And one big thing that was different then versus now was how relentless and terrible I was to the people around me. Not my friends, but people outside of that, especially the ones that didn't take kindly to who I was or didn't take kindly to me at all. I was already blunt, but I became intentionally hurtful. And within the past 5 years, a lot of things has changed. I would have battled cancer. I would have joined the military. I would have been in relationships, would have left relationships. I would have gotten closer to Christ, would have fell away. And when I look back now at me right out of high school, the smile that I had, the peace I had because I finally succeeded at finishing that I felt what was a long time in high school. And here I am now on my third year in the military, going on my fourth year. And it all went so fast. And 2 years ago, going on 3 years, I was bald because I was on chemotherapy. And that was the closest thing I had to bringing me back to that smile in high school. That was the closest I was to being who I was at that time. And I haven't been the same since my fight with cancer. And I don't expect to be the same. But the difference is night and day. The maturity that I have today is completely different than what it was before. Even my aspirations and my desires, my thoughts, my way of thinking, it has improved tremendously for my age. Enough so that I'm talking to you guys and I'm inclined to share with you the things that I think about. And a lot of the people that you will pass by hasn't experienced life-changing experiences, hasn't been through traumatic times, hard times, or if they call it traumatic, it's just their perspective, or rather my perspective, that it isn't anything in comparison to what I would have been through some people. And I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter because it made me who I am, and it humbled me to be here today on this computer. This computer that I built before I was diagnosed. And at that time, I was more concerned about if I would ever use it to the fullest capability. And here I am today. And of course, the people that would have came and gone, the relationships that would have started and finished, the friendships that would have drawn close, grew apart, or just went our separate ways. I believe it all happened for a reason. I think in the grand scheme of things, these things happen for a reason. And it's up to you to find that reason. It's up to you to make it make sense for you. I myself, I would have forgiven the people that done me wrong, and I would have separated myself and allowed myself to heal. I would have forgiven myself for making the poor mistakes, for bending over backwards, for self-sacrificing myself with the expectation that someone would like me more, love me more, appreciate me more, and it's just not the case. I would have forgiven myself for being naive. It would have been a different story if I didn't know, or if I had not learned and I still continued. That would just be insanity. And I'm even more thankful that I'm able to experience said things at a young age, because I don't have any kids. I'm not married. I'm not in a relationship with anyone. And a lot of the hardest times that I was in my life, I was not in a relationship. Even as a younger child, I didn't have girlfriends that much, if at all. So it pretty just was, it was pretty much me, my thoughts, my beliefs, and my actions. And what really fractured my core was when the doctor couldn't explain how it was possible for a brain tumor that would be typical for young children to be in a 21-year-old adult. He couldn't explain it for the life of him. So I was left thinking that it was a miracle that I'm here today. And of course, I say again, my life was not the same. It never has, and it never will. And it allows me to laugh better, to smile more, to feel what emotions I do have inside. Because I have something genuine, and I have experienced something that very few people get to and survive. I just wish that some people, most people, would learn from their mistakes, the poor choices that they make, and the bad company they keep, that they would want to improve themselves. that they would want to improve themselves and become a better person, and to not dwell on who you were, but focus on who you are today. Because as I'm here self-reflecting on 5 years ago and closer, I'm doing this after I've finished today. And a lot of you, you're focused on yesterday and last year while not doing anything today. And because of which, you're left saying that I'll do it tomorrow. I'll check on that friend tomorrow. I'll do that job tomorrow. I'll get my life together tomorrow. When you don't know that tomorrow is promised or not, it's not promised. I'll give you that much. So what do you want to do? Do you want to drive your car and focus on staring at the mirror, the rearview mirror, seeing what's behind you? Or do you want to go full speed ahead and see where the destination ends, where that road takes you? What's the end game? What's at the top of that mountain? We make a lot of choices in our life. And I would say one of the best choices is to focus on today. You can worry a bit about tomorrow, make plans for the future, but the best thing you can do is live today. Think about today. Be who you need to be today. Don't wait for later. Don't hesitate on the improvements. Be better, do better, think better, improve yourself. There's no limit to self-improvement. There's no shame in self-improvement. It's just glory and righteousness at the top. And I will tell you this. It's not very friendly. There's not a lot of familiar faces that are at the top when you try to improve yourself, because it takes isolation and segregation, time with yourself, like what I'm doing, self-reflecting, learning from past mistakes, considering how you would have done better with the information you know now, considering what you can learn from your mistakes, considering what could have been said better, what conflicts could have been resolved or avoided, what things, people, and outcomes could have been changed. Of course, I'm speaking here from my perspective. I know there's a lot of people that'll listen, but they won't do. There's a lot of people that will hear but not understand. But I'm still inclined to speak because someone needs to say it. Someone young needs to say it. If a 65-year-old man is going to tell you, you're not going to be fully confident that he's telling the truth. But I'm a young man. What do I have to lose? Or what do I have to gain? What would I get from lying about my circumstances? What would I get from selling a dream? Selling people delusions? I wouldn't get anything.